Hello and welcome. Today we're doing a bag gear review. Now, I've never done a bag review or an overall gear review before, but I've used this kit for a couple of years now and it is tried and tested. So let me show you the contents of what I use every day as a professional landscape photographer. First thing, this is my Lowepro Whistler 450 bag. It is a massive bag, but it happens to be able to carry all the gear that I need. So let's get into the bag here in a second. First up, I have my tripod, and this is my go-to tripod. I've had this for at least 5 years, if not longer, and it has never failed me, and I am thrilled with it. It is a Manfrotto Pro 055. It is a massive tripod with this huge ball head. It weighs about 5 pounds. And every time I carry it, I'm not even concerned about the weight because I know it's going to get the shot I need every time. Whether it's a night photography shot or a long exposure, this thing is so sturdy. I get sharp, crisp photos every time with this tripod. I freaking love it. It's probably my favorite accessory of all. So the bag itself is this massive Lowepro bag. It has a ton of storage, and one of the best features actually is the rear opening and all the contents within. So first off, this bag is pretty impressive. The outer shell itself has water resistant technology, which is great, but I also keep in this outside pouch a couple of smaller accessories, the first of which is this Joby tripod. GorillaPod lets you mount it basically anywhere, and it's great for getting some lower angle shots. Very, very useful tool for me. And then with that water resistance, that does not mean waterproof. So I have a waterproof rain jacket. This is just a big, almost tarp style. They can fit not only me, but the backpack inside it when I really, really need it in those crazy weather conditions. So that's all for this pouch here. Oftentimes I'll keep extra jackets or additional clothing depending on the weather, but exceptional extra storage, and it has a expandable slot here in case you want to get even more storage. But this bag is pretty large and it can get heavy very quickly if you're not careful about what gear you pack. So now again, what's great about this backpack is the rear opening. I love to be able to set this down in the dirt, in the snow, and know that my gear is insulated from the ground itself. So love this rear opening. It's nice and padded as well. So if you have that extra weight, it sits really nice on your back, and the straps for the hips are nice and wide, and they settle in really nicely for longer hikes. So let's start with the basic gear that I'm using, again, on a day-to-day basis. First of which, I have the Sony 100-400. This is the telephoto lens that I use. A fantastic lens, relatively expensive, but worth every single penny if you want to get really, really nice shots, really, really in focus, and nail that focus every single time. So next is probably my go-to lens for landscape photography, which is the Sigma 14-24. This is the 2.8 f-stop model. Fantastic for close-ups in terms of landscape foreground detail. Love that. As well as nighttime and astrophotography. This lens works incredible with that f2.8 aperture. Solid lens. Again, one of my favorites. Next is the Sony, and this is just the kind of the nifty 50 version of Sony 50mm lenses. This is the 1.8 model. I don't use this too often, mostly for portraiture and family photos. Occasionally I will pick this for landscape photography, but the conditions have to be pretty specific for this one. But great all-around lens and highly affordable. I think it's like $200, so great little lens. Another small lens I keep is this Samyang 24mm. This is a f2.8 lens. Sometimes I use this for vlogging with my main camera, so I have a nice wide angle, but a small lens so that it's a easier rig to carry and shoot with if I don't use the main video camera I have recording now. Nice little lens. Again, this is a cheap model too. I think it's under $200 as well. Next is filters. I use a Lee filter, their foundation kit. This is actually a few years old. I think they've gone to a magnetic model with most of the newer kits, but these were real pricey at the time, and they do a fantastic job and continue to do a fantastic job, so there's no need for me to replace them. I'm a very practical person when it comes to gear. If it works, I stick with it. A couple of filters that I always have: the stopper, the little stopper and the big stopper. This is I think a 6-stop, and this is a 10-stop filter, both ND, incredible. Again, that foundation kit with a couple of rings for mounting to the various lenses. Then I have just this is just a screw-on 10-stop filter. Kind of an older thing that I've had, but I still use it from time to time when the big stopper, little stopper aren't quite enough. I might throw this on just to get double it. And then this is just a simple Tiffin circular polarizer, 77mm thread to match with the big lens here and the 24-105, which is again recording right now, but I'll show you those both in a minute. Last two pieces of filter kit. These are, again, Lee filters, ND graduated filters for helping with overexposed sky. Incredible filters. Always a fan of the Lee filter products. And then I have the, I don't even know, Haida filter kit. These are super small that actually work in conjunction with this ultra wide Sigma lens. They actually mount in the back of the lens opposed to the front, and they give you various stops of light from I think 2 stops up to 6 stops. And I use those for longer exposures with this lens because, again, it has that big bulbous element on the front and you can't really mount filters to it. So great set of filters that work fantastically with that lens. I'll get to that here in a second. Next up, this is actually what I use to record audio. This is the DJI wireless mic, and game changer. This set of equipment has changed my audio game for the better, especially around windy conditions as well as water flowing conditions. Incredible sound quality that gets the audio perfect just about every single time. Super thrilled with this equipment so far. Next is actually a new addition to the bag itself. I just got this a few weeks ago. This is a DJI, it's a little busted up, I've had a couple of wrecks. DJI Mini 3 drone, fantastic 4K drone that helps me get some of those special aerial shots and photographs that I wouldn't have been able to get before. Decent quality too. It has a 48 megapixel camera that takes some pretty great shots. Very excited to have this in the kit as of now. Controller for that, as well as some extra batteries. If you want to improve your photography without changing the gear you already own, I highly recommend picking up a Ultimate Photography tool. This is a set of simple instructions I've designed to help take your photographs to the next level. On the top of the bag here is the final storage area that I use, and it's for kind of all the miscellaneous stuff. So extra batteries and memory cards. I've got a couple of buffs. These are great for wiping your lens or keeping the sun off of your face and neck. Love using these products, and I'm a huge Survivor fan, so it kind of goes hand in hand. Petzl headlamp, very, very important. A couple of pieces of charging equipment just so I can charge stuff as I'm driving on a road trip. Pair of gloves for in case it gets really, really cold. Some toilet paper and a small little tripod just in case I need something really, really low to the ground. Fantastic little set of tripod there. And then lastly is the cover here, and this is just a slip-on cover for the bag itself. Now I know I mentioned it is waterproof, but this is also waterproof and helps to keep extra water from even reaching the bag itself. So have that in there just in case I need it. The final piece of kit here is my main photography and video camera. This is the Sony a7R IV. Again, I've had this model for a couple of years now, and it is fantastic. Massive 61 megapixel files, and they are crystal clear, dead sharp focus with the Sony gear as far as lenses, and the Sigma lens, sharp every single time, autofocus, highly reliable and super fast. Love this camera. The lens here, this is the 24-105. This is the f4 model, and it has provided me a really great walk around lens. I use this for a lot of different locations because of that zoom versatility of 24 super wide and the 100 millimeters, which is a nice telephoto or mini telephoto. Fantastic camera, highly recommend this. I know they have already advanced now to the version 5 model for this camera, but no reason for me to upgrade because this thing has been so reliable and so functional for the things that I do for landscape photography. So fantastic camera, and the lenses and accessories to go with it. So pretty simple setup for myself. A lot of people have a ton more of their kit in terms of filters, additional accessories like tools, things like that. But this is the gear that I found that on just about every trip I take, I use it in some form or another. So it's always in the bag. Now, there is one kind of caveat to that, and that is when I have smaller or shorter trips, I use this JanSport bag that has plenty of storage, much smaller, more compact design, so that I can get just the gear I need for that trip. And then inside here is just a very simple 3-compartment padded insert for the gear and equipment I'll need for that particular trip. So it's definitely great to have a smaller bag for those quicker trips. All said and done, with all the gear and the bag itself, and then both of my Manfrotto tripods, this thing comes in at probably about 25 pounds, maybe even closer to 30 pounds. So it is a lot to carry if you're going for long distances. Some might like the workout, I don't know. It's just how it is for me, but incredible bag, incredible gear. If you're new to this channel, I do a new video every week where I get out and I show you some tips and tricks on how to get better compositions with your photography, and to show you some inspiring new locations to get you excited about getting out and taking photographs for yourself. So if you have any questions about the gear I use or why I use it, please leave a comment below and we'll have a discussion about it. But for now, I think you guys all know the drill. I'll see you on that next adventure.